Star Wars The Force Unleashed 2. I love the first game, and I thought it was very underrated, so when the sequel was announced, I was very excited, while everyone else screamed out, "I want a new Battlefront and KOTOR!" I just don't see the big deal with all these Star Wars games where you can't really use the Force. Star Wars games in the past and up until now have been third-person shooters, flight combat games, MMOs, RPGs, fighting games and beat-em-ups. The only game series in Star Wars that have done it right is the Force Unleashed series, and Star Wars The Force Unleashed 2 is no exception. The story is that Darth Vader tells Starkiller that he is not the real Starkiller, but a clone of someone who's already dead. So Starkiller goes on his journey to find out if Darth Vader talks true or not. That's the basic explanation, but there are plenty of story twists, and overall, the story this time is great. I can say the same for the graphics. They are top-notch. Rain, shadings, explosions, and lightsaber animations all look great, and every single Force ability has its own unique flashy effect. But of course it's the gameplay that steals the show. It is absolutely outstanding, and a huge improvement over the first. Many have complained that the first game had too slow saber combos and you couldn't cut people in half, but now you can. Arms, legs and heads are all going to fly off when you attack them with greatly improved combat mechanics that simply just look more fast and fluid. But what I like about the Force Unleashed series is that it isn't just a beat-em-up, but a game that lets you simulate the Force, and the game is definitely improved in this section as well. You can now pick up multiple enemies and objects in one grip, which is a great improvement. With the double amount of lightsabers, we also get a double amount of devastation when throwing them. There's also this new trick called Jedi Mind Trick, where you can make enemies do all kinds of crazy stuff, like killing their friends or jumping off a cliff. It's nice to use if you want to keep stronger enemies out of the way for a while, or if you need to make them stop protecting themselves. We also have this new Rage mode, where you build up this Force Fury bar, and when it's full, you can unleash it, and you will basically become a god for a few seconds. Force Push tears down everything in front of you, and you can force grip the bigger enemies that you usually can't do. There aren't as many enemy types in this game as there were in the first, but each enemy type this time is much more unique, and each enemy has different moves and different ways to be defeated. The strongest enemies once again have finishing segments, but the quick time event button tasks are much simpler now. Less memorizing, more watching. Once again, most of the cutscenes are pre-rendered, but they actually look good this time around, and Yoda makes a small appearance, but the transition from cutscene to gameplay is sometimes kind of odd. Let's count the enemies here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 enemies are left. Now let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7... Wait! There are much more enemies now! And this is pretty cool. You can force grip and destroy the ship you arrived in. The game isn't perfect though. It is still a little too short. But that's okay. The biggest annoyance about this game is the repetitive level design and the lack of themes. You're on this clean, futuristic station in the ocean, this town that's hanging underneath a bow from Avatar, and a space station. These are the only 3 themes you will see in Force Unleashed 2, and that is a real letdown. The core gameplay itself is very fun and takes a long time to get bored of. So the question is if this game is worth getting or not. Well, if you didn't like the first game, you won't like this. Don't expect a completely different experience that succeeds where the first game failed. However, if you like the first game, then you will absolutely love this. It is a solid sequel that extends on everything that made the first game great. So once again, if you enjoyed the first game, then I can absolutely recommend this.